Today,
Okay.
we welcome Rachel Howsmon, the California Development Coordinator for the Parkinson's Foundation. She will be addressing ways to deal with social isolation that can be exacerbated by the holidays, the pandemic, as well as Parkinson's disease. She will also mention some of the resources that the Parkinson's Foundation offers. Welcome, Rachel Howsmon.
Thank you, Tess. Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to speak today, and it's great to see you all. Okay, so as Tess mentioned, my name is Rachel Howsmon. I'm the Development Coordinator for Northern California at the Parkinson's Foundation. In case anyone's not familiar with the Parkinson's Foundation, we are a nationwide organization that works to improve quality of life, find a cure, and connect people affected by Parkinson's. And I've been working here for about a year. My grandfather had Parkinson's, and so that's the reason why I decided to start working here. So as I mentioned a minute ago, we do have 3 goals at the Parkinson's Foundation: to improve care, advance research toward a cure, and empower and educate communities across the world. So community and connecting people and socializing, that's all really big at the Parkinson's Foundation, and that's really important to my work. And so I thought that dovetailed nicely with the presentation today. Okay, so I did want to make this somewhat interactive so that you're all answering questions and, so if you could put your answers in the chat here. I do have a few questions for all of you. So how far do you all live from your families? Is it same cities, different state, different country? My family, for example, is in Ohio, and so that's been difficult with the pandemic because I live in San Francisco. So I'm going to look at the chat here. Okay, closest child is an hour away. LA, NYC. 2 hours, 1,000 miles, that's really far. Okay, thank you. And so my next question is, do you have close friends nearby? Or are your close friends also far away? Oh, I see kids in Berkeley and San Diego, 3 miles from your son, that's good. Half your children live in this country, 2 in Sacramento, 1 in Riverside, wife and adult grandchildren here. Neighbors, friends are nearby, that's good. Kids in San Mateo, friends in Santa Rosa. Pet is a large bird, I love that. Okay, close friends nearby in Santa Rosa, okay, that's good. And so I think we're starting to answer the third question, but does anybody have pets? Cats, dogs, birds? Family in Eureka, East Coast in England, no pets. Niece in Sebastopol. Ooh, the cockapoo. Okay, friends close by, children in Davis and Portland, cat. Your friend has a dog. Okay, this is great. So thank you all for sharing. I appreciate it. And I hope that this is more interesting, the more interactive that we make it. So of course, having friends and family close by and pets can make such a huge difference when avoiding isolation. And so I did want to start off with that. Pets especially can be great during the pandemic, since especially if you have to social distance from other people, which we still are doing a lot of the time. And so getting out, walking your dog or playing with your cat or your bird or whatever it may be can be really helpful. Okay. So this is probably not news to anybody, but studies have found that isolation is a major risk factor for lots of physical and mental health problems. This list here is non-exhaustive, but just a few of the problems that can be caused or exacerbated by isolation are increased blood pressure, heart disease, diminished immune system functioning, depression and anxiety, poor cognitive functioning. There are probably a much longer list than this, but these are just a few major ones. And so this really highlights the importance of connecting with other people as much as we can. So of course, socializing is not always easy as we would like it to be. Social distancing because of COVID has affected all of us the last couple of years. Difficulty with technology can also be a barrier. Health issues, lower activity levels, these can all be barriers. Can we think of any other barriers to isolation maybe that we've experienced? I know a lot of us have shared that family and friends don't live nearby, that of course distance can be a big factor. Any other thoughts? Okay, look at the chat again. Too hard to reach out. Barriers, regulations of board and care to 1 hour visits. That's difficult. Okay. Technology can be great. Technology is hard for all of us, but it can be a great way to keep in touch with people who aren't nearby. So I put a few different ones here, like texting, email, Zoom. I'm sure you're familiar with all of those. Social media like Facebook or Twitter, WhatsApp, which a lot of people use it can be like a texting platform to talk to people internationally. I'm seeing a couple other responses. Difficult to transport my walker. Some folks get frightened by my wife's condition. I want to scream at tech sometimes. I totally understand that. Very understandable. Tech is hard. I get it. Any other ways that I neglected to put talking on the phone here? That's the most basic one, but any other ways that you keep in touch with people? Feel free to, okay, telephone, WhatsApp, any other ideas? Send cards, that's nice. Text, email, calls, Zoom. Yeah, cards are nice. Parkinson's symptoms, cannot use technology, cannot speak, cannot type. That is a great point. I'm actually going to bring that up in just a minute. So yes, thank you, Ken. I like the sending cards one. A lot of us don't get snail mail unless it's, it's junk. It's like advertisements or something. So when I actually get a card or a letter, it's really exciting. It's nice. Okay. So help with Zoom. You're all on this Zoom call, so I'm sure you're pros at Zoom already. But we do have Zoom tutorials on the Parkinson's Foundation website. They're available in writing and on video in both English and Spanish. And that can be really helpful, maybe if you're setting it up for a new device, like a tablet or a new phone or new computer, or if you just need a review on how to use Zoom. Okay. So someone brought this up just a minute ago. So certain Parkinson's symptoms, as I'm sure we all know, can make communication difficult. Soft voice, trouble forming words, trouble finding the correct words to express yourself the way you're trying to express yourself. Those can all make communication difficult. There is a great program, educational program that the foundation did at the beginning of the pandemic. So in April of 2020, this is a screenshot of it here. It's called Staying Connected During Social Distancing, and you can find it on YouTube now. It's saved on YouTube. And it's by Dr. Angela Roberts, who's a professor at Northwestern University. She works with Parkinson's patients a lot, and she gives a number of practical and easy to implement tips on how to communicate better, especially during social distancing and using technology to do so. So some of her tips, and this is a full 45-minute program, so I'm not going to go over the whole thing right now, but I would highly recommend watching. But a couple of her tips include using video when you're having a conversation with somebody. This right now, if you're off video right now, that's fine. But if you're speaking one-on-one with somebody, it can really be helpful to use video because it allows you to see their facial expression, which is a huge amount of communication. It can also allow for some lip reading, even if lip reading is not your main mode of communication. It can help with understanding the other person, especially if they have a softer voice or less distinct voice. And she says here that using video versus just audio, for example, speaking on the phone, can improve communication up to 70%. So it can make a huge difference using video. Another thing that's not on the slide here is typing can be difficult because of tremor or difficulty with small motor movement. And there are handwriting classes, for example, that can help with small movements in your hands. There's also physical and occupational therapy that can all be helpful and can help you keep up your ability to write or type. Okay. So I'm going to move on. A few other tips from Dr. Roberts in that YouTube video are to set up regular times to connect with family and friends. If possible, to schedule around your medications or around your downtimes if you're able to predict them. And just generally to get outside. Getting outside, as we all know, we live in Northern California, so we live in a great place that's warm enough to walk outside most of the year. And this on the right, I just searched for a picture of Sonoma, and it's so beautiful. Vineyards, and this on the left is an outdoor fitness class for people with Parkinson's. I think it's a yoga class. Okay. So support groups. So you're already all doing something very right, very helpful by being a part of this support group. They can really improve quality of life in lots of ways by helping you develop coping skills, by improving stress management, decreasing depression and feelings of hopelessness. They can help you connect with other people who are going through the same things that you are. And that just by itself can be really emotionally bolstering. That you can also connect with people who can give you resources that could help you. Support groups are great in lots of ways. Okay, so I don't know if you're all familiar with the Parkinson and Movement Disorder Alliance. They're a separate organization that's also nationwide. They're a great resource. They are a nationwide community that works to bring education and connection to those impacted by movement disorders. They have several other online support groups. I wanted to call out a couple of them, which include Flying Solo. That is a support group for people with Parkinson's who live alone and helping them navigate those unique challenges. There's also a Young Onset Connections group and several others as well. And they have a number of virtual events, and then they're starting to do in-person events as well across the country. I'm seeing PMD Alliance is fabulous. I agree, they are. Okay. Fitness classes. I wanted to ask who here takes Parkinson's fitness classes? And if you want to write in the chat if you do or don't, and if you do, which ones you take. This picture here on the left is, I think it's a yoga for Parkinson's class, and you can see that there's both seated and standing options. Yoga can be a great option. So I'm going to look at the chat here. PD dance, rock steady boxing, lots of rock steady boxing. That's great. Yeah, so I was going to suggest here, you're again probably all aware of these, but there are lots of options for fitness classes for Parkinson's. There's yoga, dance, rock steady boxing, which is great. Lots available both in person and over Zoom. If you're into dance, there's lots of options like there's both ballet, there's tango, there's I think other options as well, which is great. Let me look at the chat again. Qigong, rock steady boxing, great. Yeah, we love rock steady boxing. We work with them all the time. They are really such a great organization. Okay, cool. There is also a really long list on the Stanford website, which I'll be sure to include in my email. That has a list of Northern California fitness classes for Parkinson's. And so you might read that and find something else that you'd be interested in taking that you're not already aware of. Okay. So the Parkinsons Helpline, I wanted to ask, is anybody familiar with this? Has anybody used it before, called the helpline before? Okay. So this helpline it's something that the Parkinson's Foundation has made available for several years. It's a free helpline. You can see the number at the top here. There's also an email address that you can write to. It is available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can call and speak with somebody in English or in Spanish. This is a great resource for pretty much any questions you may have about Parkinson's. You can get current disease information, recent studies. If you need a referral to a doctor or other health professional, if you need community resources like a suggestion for a fitness class, or we recommend this a lot if somebody moves to a new area and needs a new support group. Also just for emotional support, you're welcome to just call and talk if you need to. The people answering the phones and the emails are trained doctors and nurses and social workers. And so they're very experienced, very trained in ways to help you. Okay. So a few other resources that we have at the Parkinson's Foundation. We have PD Health at Home. These are weekly Zoom classes in meditation and fitness. This is the link here below, right here. I personally go to the meditation classes as often as I can. They're open to anybody who wants to come. They're really great. I personally really enjoy them. And they do get a big following. There's, I think, hundreds of people who attend every week. PD Conversations. This is also an online community on our website where you can get support, talk to others having similar experiences. This is also the link at the bottom here. So, excuse me. The Michael J. Fox Foundation has a similar thing to PD Conversations. It's called the Buddy Network. This is also an online platform that helps you make meaningful connections, find resources, build long-lasting relationships. With both of these platforms, the Buddy Network and PD Conversations, you can opt to use your first name only and control the amount of personal information that you put in your profile if you're concerned about privacy. The Buddy Network does encourage people to meet in person if they connect with somebody really well, but of course you can always choose to be as anonymous as you can and choose to just stay online. So there is some nice flexibility there. I did just see a question. Thank you so much for asking, are these free of charge? Yes. All of the resources that I've mentioned so far are free of charge. There is one. Yes, this one. This is the one resource that is not completely free of charge. So this is our Aware and Care hospitalization kit. This kit, of course, is not directly related to loneliness or isolation, but it is a great resource that I wanted to suggest just in case people need it. So this, excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. The Aware and Care kit is $8 for shipping charge. The kit itself is free, but there is that $8 shipping charge. And so that's the only thing that's not completely free that I'm talking about today. So this Aware and Care kit, if in case you're not familiar, some of you may already have it or may already know about it, but it's a fanny pack that you see here. You can order it, it'll be mailed to you. It has a medical alert wallet card that just says I have Parkinson's to alert people, nurse fact sheets. We put these nurse fact sheets together because we were getting a lot of feedback, and some of you may have experienced this, I'm not sure. We were getting a lot of feedback that people with Parkinson's in the hospital were talking to nurses and doctors who weren't necessarily as educated on Parkinson's as they could or should be. And so these fact sheets are just a one sheet, like a short little basic info on Parkinson's. There are medication forms that you fill out with the medications you take and the times and doses. This is another piece of feedback that we got a lot when we were creating this kit, that people in the hospital were not getting the correct medications, or they were getting them at the wrong time, or both. And that, as I'm sure you all know, can really mess with your symptoms, and that can be a big problem. There's a hospital action plan to give you a guide for if you have to go to the hospital for any reason. There's an ID bracelet. There's a Duopa info card if you have the Duopa pump. There's a DBS info card if you have a DBS device. And you can learn more here at this link at the bottom. Okay. And David Cox says, Aware and Care is fabulous. I know many people who use it. Thank you. That's great to hear. Okay. So I did also want to mention a couple of upcoming events in the Bay Area that are in person this year. So the next one coming up is Revolution, which is a cycle event coming up in February. This is a fun and high energy indoor cycle class. It's a cycle class, which can be difficult, but we can and will make modifications to the workout so that it's appropriate for people with Parkinson's or people of any fitness level. This is in San Francisco at a cycle studio. And if anybody would like to come, we'd love to have you. Okay. So moving day, this is an older event. So if you could put in the chat, has anybody been to moving day before? Okay, well, it was virtual the last couple of years because of the pandemic, but we are planning it to be in person this year. We're really excited. It's going to be April 23rd at Fort Mason in San Francisco. If you're not familiar, it's our community 5K walk event. It is a fundraising event, so donations are encouraged, but they're not required. You're perfectly welcome to come with friends or family and just do the walk. It's going to be a really nice walk this year. The walk starts at Fort Mason, and then you go along the marina, so past the water and the boats towards the Golden Gate Bridge, and then you turn around and walk back, and that's the 5K walk route. So we, again, love to have you, anybody who wants to come. Should be a really nice, fun day. Apart from the 5K walk, there's also going to be various resource vendors. There's going to be fitness demonstrations. Usually we'll have like ballet and rock steady boxing doing short fitness demonstrations. So it should be a really fun community-centric day. Okay. Cool. So that's all I had to say. I do just want to emphasize that we're here for you. We're here to support you in any way that we can. This is our website on the left here, and then our local website with the California at the end, and our Facebook page. Please go like us on Facebook. And here again is the contact info for the helpline, the number and the email, and my email and my phone number. If anybody, I did see some questions in the chat, which I'm happy to answer, but if anybody thinks of questions later and you'd like to talk, I'm happy to chat at any time. Let me look in the chat and see what questions there were. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of, I have to sort through all the other questions. I'm glad that you all wanted to share so much. That's great. Okay. So Barbara asked, what about programs that translate what you're saying to text? Do you mean like speech to text programs? So that's a great question. I know that you can set up your phone to do speech to text where you talk into your phone and then it types the text for you. I'm not aware of other ones off the top of my head, but I'm sure they exist because I'm sure that would be really helpful for lots of people. So let me do some research on that and get back to you. Okay. Gary asked, are these free of charge? And yeah, and as I mentioned, all of the resources that I mentioned are free of charge with the exception of the Aware and Care kits. And those just have an $8 shipping fee. Stuart and Ann shared there's a social media network called myparkinsonsteam.com. Cool. I'm not familiar with that, so I will have to look that up. Okay, that looks like all the questions, but did anybody else have questions, thoughts? Feel free to type in the chat. Okay. Oh, we use Dragon Naturally Speaking for speech to text. It's pretty hard to edit, but getting main concepts onto text is great. Okay, thank you for sharing. That's great. Thank you, Gary. Happy to share. Any other questions, resources, thoughts?
I'm going to thank you, Rachel, for attending to our speaker meeting.